What is going on, everybody? It is Max and Trev with BuzzTox with our Westworld Episode 9 reaction review. We watched the episode 20 minutes ago, and we're just going to puke out our thoughts right now. What's going on, Trev?
Woo!
I love this show.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I didn't think anything could compare to Game of Thrones for me. I put Game of Thrones on a pedestal. I've seen it a million times. I think I like this show more. I love this show.
Yeah, it's really good.
This episode was the typical HBO, like, penultimate episode.
Yeah. Penultimate. Are you a pasta lover?
What is it?
Pretty sure it's just penultimate.
Penultimate episode. I can't believe everything that happened. It was a lot of reveals after reveal after reveal, and we got a lot of shit right.
I mean, the episode should have just been called The Truth.
Yeah, I know. It's absolutely nuts.
I guess we gotta begin with Bernard. Like, he was this fucking star of the show here.
Yeah, so Bernard is sitting with Maeve, and Maeve pretty much gives him the rundown that he's a host. And the one thing that we were wrong about is she can actually fucking freeze him.
Oh, man, that was huge.
He has absolutely no admin rights, even though he's a head programmer. As we said, though, like, Bernard is key to this. And the reason Maeve was able to be sent back in and try and recruit Hector is because of Bernard. But then it got, like, so upsetting when we learned about just everything.
Oh my
it was
God,
like
yeah.
It's such a tragic story. Like, we see him learning all these things that Ford kind of wiped from him, and he's trying to, like, he's seeing like a flashback with his dead son, but he's trying to, like, make peace with his son so he can kind of move on from it and not be tied to this tragedy that Ford has given him.
See, I was thinking that was gonna be something that shined through, and that was something that Ford had to make adjustments for, because in real life Arnold had a son that died. But they just stomped that out. Well, at least in this episode, it seems that way. They just stomped that idea out full-heartedly.
Possibly, yes, because Ford did say that tragedy obviously makes for more like real hosts. And we see Ford creating Bernard, and we see he does look at him kind of like a friend. And that's why he created him.
Friend, like...
Well, yeah, and he did. He created Bernard in Arnold's image. And he pretty much, to the minute detail, even cleaning off the glasses, he wanted to make sure that it was perfect.
For sure.
And I think, from Ford's point of view, Bernard coming in with Clementine with the gun, which I thought was, like, perfect. I love how they're using these hosts in different situations.
Yeah. Because they're tools in their most basic form.
Yeah, exactly. And you think it's like, you see on Ford's face, like, he's actually really upset, in a sense, like, later, because when Bernard ends up shooting himself, you can see Ford walking away and looking kind of, like, upset. Because, you know, he's been with that host for so long, I think he actually did have some kind of emotional connection with him.
See, that's pun intended. Jumps the gun. But, do you think he walked away thinking that he can build Bernard, or he just left Bernard? Because I feel like he's just offing everybody in the fucking park that I think people are going to start to notice.
Yeah.
If Elsie is dead and gone, then someone's going to notice. We see that shit happen with Ashley that we'll talk about. Like, I think he's going to get out of it. And then fucking Bernard goes missing. There would be a call to arms, a call to investigation. So is he building another Bernard?
Yeah.
And he just thinks that Bernard is now...
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But
disgraced.
To me, it was very like a, let's move on from this. Like, I'm done. Bernard's too far gone. I can't have him working for me anymore, unfortunately. And I think that hurt him. But I don't think he's going to end up creating another Bernard. But I think later in the episodes, like, there's only one episode left, I think he's going to play an important role. I think...
Oh, yeah, huge.
You know, he's shot and he's in sub-level B83. We think that Maeve... We've been saying this for a while, that we think Maeve is actually going to go down to that sub-level.
Yeah.
Because you have an army down there. And I think Maeve may stumble across him.
Programmable hosts.
Yeah, and Bernard is such a significant host that if it is possible for her to fix him, then I think they may go that route. Because... the fact, I can't just live with Bernard killing himself. He's too good of a character, and after that happened, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you need characters for season 2.
No, I know.
Like, you need to continue this story. It feels so well self-contained.
No, Bernard's not done. He's definitely not done. He'll be in the next season. He's too important.
But then we learn that Arnold is done. The flashbacks that we've seen with Arnold talking to Dolores actually did kill Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might have said this in the past, where her killing Arnold was a test. It's testing if these hosts can break their core code.
Yeah.
And that's what killing Arnold really like became. So I think that it'll be really interesting to see what happens next.
Well, it's so interesting because you see that old you see Ford in two phases of his life. You see him young again, walk by Dolores, and he runs right into the office of Arnold, and they're like at ends, like they're fighting, they're arguing, I guess, over ideology. And then we see him again a little bit later, but it's like a true best friend relationship where they love each other because they're best friends in a way, but then they get under each other's skin because of the different thoughts on what they're doing there. So it's really interesting to see, and we see that other side of, well, Arnold. We get to see Arnold, or Bernard as Arnold, and he's like the drama teacher, like, let's talk, like he's so like caring of these hosts.
Yeah. And with the whole, with Dolores' arc, we found out that she killed Arnold, which is huge. But when she escapes from William, she ends up going to that church and going to that old town where the massacre happened.
Which is like the staging ground for the whole park.
Yeah, and during this time, we're seeing a ton of we're seeing...
You just Abernathy?
We're seeing a ton of flashbacks. With her going there, even like all the way back, and she's reliving that in the present time, and we see her go in the white church in present time. And then she goes down and she's really upset because now she is alone because she killed Arnold, which is crazy. So it's really interesting to see like where she's going to go next. And on top of that, when she left the church, the man in black walks in, but I find it interesting how she called William.
Yeah.
And then he walks in. It's funny because I've thought that William is the man in black since episode 2, so have you. To me, that was almost like confirmed, there it is, but it actually hasn't been legit confirmed yet.
It's just like, so probably William in the old timeline did show up to the church.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just so funny that it happened again. It was just like a whole poeticness of this whole season. But me and you it hasn't changed our views on it. It really seems more than ever that William is the man in black.
Oh, this episode laid it on so thick to the point that it felt confirmed to me. But I have to pull myself back and say they actually haven't told the audience yet that William equals the man in black.
No.
And I'm still holding to my guns that they're going to reveal it in the way that I've been saying like earlier. The fact that she's going to have a moment where she looks at the man in black in present time, and then she will relive the past, and it will become William. And then we'll see William and her have that interaction by the church, because he is now pursuing Dolores with Logan.
Yes.
And I want to talk about that massacre, because we've seen this huge change with William. And I think it makes sense. A lot of people haven't really been able to see the character arc that William could go on or predict it.
Exactly.
They thought it was Logan, which to me doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, like even he just got his face cut. The producers wouldn't miss that, and like the Man in Black would have a big ass scar on his face if that were the case.
Yeah, and just the fact of like character building. You got to think of this guy is head over heels with this woman, and we know that it doesn't work out. And when you live in a world where a host keeps refreshing and refreshing, you can never have that true love that William actually wanted, and that naturally makes you become jaded.
Well, no, scrap what I said, because they probably have technology to heal up wounds. But the more obvious thing is that Logan doesn't care about this place at all. He has no care for this. This is his Las Vegas for him to let loose. Like he would care about coming back to this place and doing this, unless something absolutely major happens in the 10th episode where we see his change. It just wouldn't make sense for him to be the asshole the whole time and then change in the last episode.
Well, we've seen, Logan did push William over the edge.
Yeah.
And he does genuinely love Dolores, even though, he's looked past the fact that she's a host. And he ended up massacring all the hosts. And this is where he cut him into 1,000 pieces, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, more than
which
one.
is what the Man in Black said earlier.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is after he massacres them all, he says, I figured out how this game works.
Mm-hmm.
which to me it's just saying that, you know, in order for me to get what I want, I have to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
I had to kill all these men in order to pursue Dolores.
Which would be a change for him in the game, but it would be hugely beneficial to his character in real life, where he would get in front of Logan to the top of the company and work his way to be on the board and investors and have those contacts within the Westworld company.
Yeah, and you got to look how this changes him as a character. For the first time ever, he actually stood up to Logan.
Yeah, well, he threw him down and stood over.
Threw him down, and you can't let that go.
No,
whether he hurts Logan in the park or not, I thought he would have. But once you get out of there, he's gonna realize, if I behave a certain way, I'm going to get what I want. And that's what he realized in this park. He used to be a pushover, but here he realized that he can stand up and get what he wants. And I think that's why the Man in Black is such a tragic backstory, is after living this life in Westworld with Dolores, he realized that to get what he wants, he has to be a man of backbone. And he does. He does philanthropy and all of these things and good deeds to hide who he truly is, because, you know, that's what Westworld has turned him into.
Because he's like, William doesn't know about the maze, though, which I don't think he'll learn about.
Well, what is the maze? You could say that the maze is underneath the white church, where Dolores meets with Arnold.
I don't think we're on the same page with the maze either. But what I was going to say just quickly before I get into that is that William and the Men in Black were obviously on the same page on that, where they're the same, but he doesn't know about the maze. I was under the impression that he didn't even realize that Dolores was Breaking Bad. He just was like, oh, she's really like picking up. But like, he is, no, she is different. There's something going on here. There's something weird. But he doesn't know about the maze.
Yeah.
So we get that reveal from the Men in Black when he kills Maeve and her daughter, that the maze reveals itself to him.
Yeah.
So that's the first time to him that he's realized what the maze actually is, or what it's about. But he might have get an inkling about it way back when and not understand it at all, or maybe he doesn't see anything about it.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think, what if the maze is a lesson? Like, you know, because the Man in Black, I feel like the maze takes you back to your past.
Yeah.
And like, Dolores is consistently following the maze, pursuing her past, almost in a way to better herself. And it's like the Man in Black went through the same journey, where in this episode, the maze, or this pursuit of the maze, has taken him back to Dolores.
Mm-hmm. For me, the maze to me right now, as it stands from the episodes that I've seen and what I gather, to me, the maze is something different to everybody. It is pictured like a lab rat in a maze. If that rat can get the cheese, then he wins. And every single person, or I should say every single host, has the ability to follow their truth or their maze. And if they can break free of their coding, of their constraints, of their, I guess, code, I think I said that twice, but like, if they can break free, then in the case when Arnold was alive, that he would maybe grant them freedom, saying like, I can't enslave you.
Yeah.
Like you've
proven yourself.
You've become human, or you've become better than human.
The maze is a consciousness chest.
Yes. And that was maybe something that Ford did not like. He's like, no, we can't let these things escape. You know what they'll do?
Yeah.
And that was maybe something that happened where he's like, you're right, I can't, like, you won't let me do that, and it would be bad, but hey, and maybe that's why he dies and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a very, like, it's the idea that the maze is probably an idea. It's a philosophical thing. It's not an actual maze. And Maeve is also pursuing this maze.
Yeah, I think she's already on it.
She's on the maze. Even though you can't see that she's on a maze, she clearly is. She's Breaking Bad. She is talking to Bernard. She's thrown back in. She goes to Hector, and she's trying to get allies, trying to get an army to be able to break out.
Well, that's what I mean. I think she is so far on it that she's got it. She's been there. The only thing that's left now is escaping. That's it.
Yeah. So it'll be,
because Arnold wouldn't be there to let her free, and obviously Ford and his goons wouldn't let her free. So she has to take that extra step.
Yeah, and we have one episode in this extra step. A lot is going to happen. We have Abernathy on the move, possibly going onto the train. We have Teddy coming into Westworld because he's been killed. We have Dolores at the church with the man in black, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And we have Ashley, poor old Ashley.
Oh,
I don't
man.
know what's gonna happen to him.
See, I think it's accidental. I don't think he was sent there to get wiped out. Maybe, though. Fucking Ford is a conniver.
It's not the fact that he was sent there to be wiped out. It's the fact that he's in a place where he really shouldn't be. Sector
but
17 was totally off the grid until they started investigating it.
Fucking psychological Ford is, though. He knew, okay, Bernard messed up when he talked to Ashley. Ashley got suspicious. Then they have, but see, then that woman sent him out to that area. Fuck, it's so hard with him, because if Ford sent him out there to get ambushed, then there's too many breadcrumbs now for Ford. He can't just keep killing people.
Well, that's why I think this is going to be, next episode is going to be Ford's downfall. I don't know how this, like, usually with the majority of TV shows, I can look at it and predict how the season finale will go.
Mm-hmm.
I have no fucking idea. Like, I literally have no idea. Like, I know that we are going to learn that definitively that William is the man in black. We've been talking about this for 8 episodes. I think we are going to see Maeve go down to sub-level 83.
Yeah. It's like, what other choice does she have?
But it just blows my mind. Like, there's so many pieces on the board. So it'll be interesting to see what they choose to finalize and finish telling that part of the story, and what they decide to continue.
Oh yeah, because she offed herself with Hector. So yeah, they're going down there for sure.
Yeah, so they're definitely gonna break out.
Wait a second though. Why would they fucking burn themselves?
Yeah, I know, eh?
Wouldn't they, like, I know they're flesh and blood. You think they would burn, and then when they maybe have like skin paint, that they paint them back on?
It's like, okay, Maeve, I fucking get it. Like, you can die a million times, but you don't need to fucking burn yourself.
Just shot each other, or stabbed each other in the face. Like, what are we doing?
It's because they were getting heated, Trev. It's getting a little hot in there. You know what I'm saying?
Drama's drama, I guess.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about something important though. I think I might have been right about something. Still not confirmed though. Teddy might be why.
Yes, that was very interesting.
Because the way she's talking, like, oh, he's not here yet, or Wyatt's not back yet, or he's not ready. I forget exactly what she said. And the way that she was talking was like he was sort of like the leader of this pack, because they would have just nabbed him.
Yeah.
It seemed they were treating him with a little bit of respect. What was also I thought was cool was she stabbed him. So I wonder if that's to get a response out of him. Like they're almost using that breaking of code kind of thing. Yeah. Which is interesting.
And she was talking to him almost like she wanted him to go on this journey to become the person he was meant to be.
Exactly.
But what's funny is I think we've actually solved Teddy's origin just between me and you. I personally wasn't on the bandwagon of him being Wyatt. Could be possible. We think Teddy's a lot of people. I'm on the bandwagon that Teddy was recreated in William's image.
Yeah, he got repurposed as the shepherd of Dolores.
His past storyline was him actually being a part of this shooting, or he was a test in this shooting. Mm-hmm. And Ford actually took that and put that in his actual story, but he left some pieces out. That's why we're seeing him recall that he's actually the bad guy. It's like him progressively becoming worse and worse from a white hat to a black hat, and that's William's arc. Mm-hmm. And I think the purpose of Teddy is obviously to keep Dolores on her loop, to keep her safe. That's why she's so excited when she sees him. You came back, because William left and he never came back. And there's just so many connections between the two characters. He has to be a reincarnation of William, because he was truly the one thing that stopped Dolores.
Exactly.
So whatever she's up to in episode 10, she could have destroyed the park. We're going to see William stop her.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But that's all I got to say about this.
I got a lot of thinking to do.
Yeah, guys, we got a lot going on. We got the analysis video coming out later. We're probably like an hour and a half. We're going to be talking about this episode in depth. And then we got our trailer breakdown, where we're going to look at the episode 10 trailer breakdown of Westworld. And we're going to predict what we think is going to happen based on the footage that is given. And we did really well on the last trailer breakdown. Like,
really good.
We did very good. So I'm excited to see what we can come up with.
It's just like, I can't come to grips if Bernard's not in the next season. Because, like, you think about it, he got left in the room with Clementine. So if Maeve makes her way down, then she's going to want Clementine more than anybody. She's fucking right there with him. and they don't tend to move around or sway around.
Yeah.
Right? So, God damn it, Bernard.
They got to keep him. He was the character that allowed people to see the human side as well as the host side and realize that hosts are more human.
Yeah, they can't off him.
So they can't off him. But that's it. Until then, I'll see you guys later.
Bye.